Next one is carbon. In the free state, carbon occur as a graphite, diamond and coal. Diamond and graphite are the pure form of carbon, and coal contain 60 to 90% of carbon. It is the combined state. It occurs in the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. In Earth's crust, it occurs as carbonates of metal and as fossil fuels. Carbon is the central element of all living matters. Okay, so basically carbon is very important for us because carbon occur in graphite, diamond and coal as a free state, and coal contain of 60 to 90% of carbon, and even carbon are also found in a combined state like carbon dioxide present in our atmosphere gas, and it also occur in carbonate form like and also in the form of fossil fuels. Carbon are also central element of all living matters. Okay, so these are the things you need to write down in your notebook. Now let us talk about silicon. Silicon is the second most abundant element in the earth crust. It does not occur in a free state. It is always occur in combined state, and it occur as silica, silicon oxide, silicate, okay, and silicates. The most common form of silica is sand. Okay, so whenever you see sand, because sand is basically silicon, which is silicon. Okay, and you know that the usage of sand. Okay, now let us talk about sulfur. Sulfur occurs in a free state of the earth crust. In the combined state, it occur in rock as a metal sulfate and sulfides. It is also occur as a hydrogen sulfide H2S, which present in petroleum and natural gas. Noble gas such as helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon occur in elemental form of air. These all helium, neon, argon, krypton, these all are present in a gaseous form in the air. An extraction of non-metal from their source is equally important, and non-metal are so often help to production of many useful chemicals. So not to, all metals are useful for us, even non-metals are also useful for us to making of so many useful chemicals. So you see how hydrogen, nitrogens, oxygen, carbon, silicon and sulfur are present in free state and also in combined state, and those are formed in a combined state. We extract it from combined state, okay, to find pure form of these non-metals. Okay, let us talk about some properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now let us talk about metals are generally solid at room temperatures, but exception is only mercury, which is a liquid at a room temperature. So except mercury, all metals are generally solid, okay, at room temperature. Non-metals occur as solid only in those things: carbon and sulfur, liquid like bromine, and gaseous like oxygen and nitrogen. So basically non-metals occur in all three states: solid, liquid and gas. Okay, luster. Luster is the second property. Metals have a metallic luster. Metallic luster means you just see the shiny appearance of any metal. Shiny appearance of any metal. You see these are the metals. Okay, so these are the metals. How these metals? This is silver and this is copper, and there the surface is shining. Okay, and this is non-metal. Okay, like that. This is non-metal, so it cannot have shiny surface. Okay, it cannot have shiny surface. If this is a non-metal, plastic is a non-metal, so it cannot having their shiny surface. But if you compare this by, so this silver is a shiny surface. So yeah, when we talk about luster, then metals have metallic luster, means they have shiny appearance, but non-metals have not metallic luster. Graphite is an exception of it. Now let us talk about hardness and strength. Metals are generally hard and strong. Exceptions sodium, potassium and magnesium, which are soft and can be easily cut by knife. So every fact having some exceptions are there. When we talk about physical state, there mercury is an exception. When we talk about luster, graphite is an exception. When we talk about hardness and strength, like potassium, magnesium and sodium are exceptions. So generally all metals are hard and strong except sodium, potassium and magnesium, because they are very soft, they even cut by knife. Non-metals are generally not so hard and strong, but exception is also there. Diamond is a non-metal which are hardest substance known. Okay. Now let us move to the another topic, which is another property, which is malleability and ductility. So let us see what is malleability and what is ductility. The property of metal by which they can be beaten into thin sheet, they are said to be malleability, and the property of metals can be drawn into thin wires, they are said to be ductility. So the property of metals by which they stretch and they stretch and they stretch and drawn into thin wires, then that property is said to be ductility. And the property of metal by which when we beat on it, it shifted in a thin sheet. Okay, then that is said to be malleability. So malleability and ductility are the two property of metals, but non-metals are neither malleable nor ductile, they are brittle. When you hit it, when you stretch it, they become broken. Okay, let us talk about another property of metals and non-metal, which is conductivity. The following activity, let us see activity. So what I want to tell you, that metals are the good conductor of electricity and non-metals are bad conductor of electricity, but exception is also there. Graphite is a non-metal which is a good conductor of electricity. So generally all non-metals except graphite, all non-metals are bad conductor of electricity and metals are good conductor of electricity. Okay. Now if you talk about heating conductivity, then all metals are good conductor of heat also, but all non-metals are bad conductor of heat. So when you talk about heat and electricity as a conductivity of heat and electricity, then we say that metals are good conductors of heat and electricity and non-metals are bad conductor of heat and electricity. Okay. Now next physical property, which is sonorous. Sonorous means elements that produce ringing sound when they struck, they are said to be sonorous. So basically metals produce ringing sound, so because it's said to be sonorous, and non-metals are not sonorous because it cannot produce such sound which is ringing. Okay. Now next one is melting and boiling point. Metals generally have high melting and boiling point, and non-metals are having low melting and boiling point. So I want to tell you what is melting point and what is boiling point. A point of temperature at which solid convert into liquid are said to be melting point, its melting point, and a point of temperature at which when liquid convert into gaseous state of matter, then it's said to be its boiling point. So when ice is a solid that melt at 0 degree Celsius, so solid form of ice convert into liquid form of water. Okay, solid form of water which is ice convert into liquid form of water at 0 degree Celsius, and 0 degree Celsius is melting point of water, and at 100 degree Celsius liquid water convert into water vapor, then we say that 100 degree Celsius is the boiling point of water. So the melting and boiling point of metals are generally high, and the melting point and boiling point of non-metals are generally low. Thank you.